Welcome back, folks. My name is LastKnownMeal, and welcome to the episode 70 of the Cyberpunk 2077 Community Podcast. Today, with us, we don't have Mad Queen. She is going to take this week to rest, but starting from the left side, we're gonna go with Sib. Hello, Sib.
Hello. And I understand my Mad Queen is not here
Mm.
because right now we're facing a heat wave over here, and I don't want to use the word torture lightly, but yeah, it's torture. It's
It's
torture.
terrible. It's terrible. And also, in the right corner, we have the Neon Arcade. Welcome.
What's up? How's everyone doing?
Yeah, it's been a somewhat an easy week. Besides I think this week was only about, and the previous one before it was about the World of Cyberpunk book. There's been a lot of videos on that, a lot of pictures. So you guys had a chance to go over it, right? So what are your thoughts around the overall design and the contents of the book?
hmm
It's
Um,
good.
yeah,
I definitely recommend anybody who's a fan of the game to pick it up. It's going to give you a lot of like nice lore. It's even a nice coffee table read.
Mm,
It legitimately is something that I would put on my coffee table because it's something that is unique enough that most people are not super familiar with that and like the concept and the thing, and it's a pretty good read. So yeah.
mm,
yeah, it goes over everything quite nicely. It's
Mhm.
kind of consolidated a lot of the things from 2020 into like the most important things. So like if you're brand new to the lore of Cyberpunk and you don't want to go into the 2020 source books because they're a little bit too overwhelming for you, this is kind of the perfect middle ground, I'd say.
yes.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Because I was kind of worried about that book because I was thinking, okay, that's just gonna be, another book which kind of, markets the game in a sense. It's for people to read about it. But just going through it, they really, really put a lot of effort into it, and the lore that was written there, and how it was actually divided, and how they go through, let's say, different gangs of Night City, then corporations, then the overall history after the Fourth Corporate War and during the Fourth Corporate War is actually really well made, and like even the people who know about the lore can brush up a lot of stuff from there. That's cool
Mhm.
on that end.
Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff in there as well, but they do avoid story spoilers,
Mm.
obviously.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of new stuff that I learned going through going through it. So
true, true. Don't we have another book coming out, or did I misread something? Because I think that there is another one.
There's another book coming out from the Cyberpunk Red, but that's still a ways away yet.
Mm.
hmm
Yeah.
And that'll tie up a lot of lore, and we may see a bunch of stuff from Johnny and Cunningham and a couple other people in there, kind of going over that kind of stuff and hitting up all that kind of extra good lore that will kind of affect the game, and that's why it's not coming out until after the
Mm.
game releases. And that's been kind of like it hasn't been directly said that that's the reason, but it's been inferred a number of times. So yeah, I think we can. I think we would probably say that that's the reason why.
True,
hmm
true, true. And I'm really looking forward to actually to just Cyberpunk Red because that's
Hmm.
that's going to give us a lot of info. Even before the game comes out, we'll get a better grasp of why Night City is like that in 2077. Because there's also a lot of stuff from the Fourth Corporate War which wasn't answered, and Jay from
Hmm.
Talsorian teased that they're going to also cover that, and so that
hmm
that's really fun.
Yeah, I feel like they selectively omitted some of the things from the World of Cyberpunk book because we didn't see. Obviously, I'm not saying the bozos are in there, but we didn't see
Mm.
them. We didn't see some of the more the neo corps, the smaller corporations who grew in the timeline of the Red in between 2077. So I think there's other things that obviously that they're gonna tie into that, and it might be a little bit more elaborate than this book. This one's kind of a little bit more surface level,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still a really good read. There's some
Yeah,
amazing art in there too.
yeah, true, true. It's like a really nice introduction to like everyone who like obviously there's 84 books of Cyberpunk. I don't know if that's the correct number, but it
Yeah.
takes a while to get through them, and I don't know. I of course I would advise to read through the Cyberpunk 2020 source book as just the main thing to get the grasp of the entire universe. But if people
hmm
want a more how would I say video game oriented book in a sense, because obviously Cyberpunk 2020 covers more on the TTRPG side, and this is
Mm-hmm.
more like overall lore. So yeah, it's really fun for people. And there's
Mm-hmm.
also the Night Corp. Like we saw a little bit about them. But even then, like there's a notice which says like it's not the full story. I'm like, let
Yeah.
the speculation begin.
Yeah, it's like a corporation that's known for like maintaining the city essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they
Mm-hmm.
don't have much information on it. It's kind of weird. You didn't get too much even ability to theory craft what they could be doing
Yeah.
with Night Court based off the book.
True. But whoever is involved in the city infrastructure, in my opinion, is the most powerful. Because
Yeah,
let's face it,
yeah.
they control everything. Maybe they have a fail switch or something like it.
They have a hidden button for a nuke or something, a pocket nuke. Well, was it? Didn't Mike Pondsmith say there was someone riding around with the nuke in red, and that he might be?
Well, I mean, again, he's referred to it a lot, going, "Oh, you know, there's a missing nuclear weapon somewhere. Oh, gee, I wonder what's happened to that. Not very interesting."
If Night Corp knows everything about the city, they probably know where it is. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
you never know.
Well, I
Mm,
mean, I'm sure. Well, I mean, here's this funny thing: in war, you never really find out like where things have gone properly, and that's usually like something that's you can't really fix that typically.
yeah.
It's like, oh, where did such and such a massive power of devastation go? Oh, we don't know. It's somewhere.
Floating around, you know.
Yeah.
Like there are I think I've gone over this before. There are currently 7 or 9 nuclear weapons that are missing from various arsenals from across the world.
You're
Like
talking about
3 are
Cyberpunk
3
or
are
In
no,
Earth?
no, no, no. In real life,
oh
there's 7 or 9 missing nuclear weapons. Now, I understand they don't know where they are because one's in my basement, but still, it's like how do you lose something like that? Now, 3 of them are like for sure like at the bottom of the ocean and are unretrievable and have probably like soft or like have been destroyed at this point,
thank God.
essentially. Yeah, thankfully. But yeah, no, it's one of those it's one of those scenarios where it's like you're like, how can they lose that? And then that's that situation that's entered in here. So that's
Yeah.
really kind of it's kind of cool the way that they do that.
Yeah. Just imagine being a guy who lost a nuke. You have to report that to your boss. Well, sir, we kind of lost the warhead. I just
I,
want to interject here for a quick second. Thank you everyone for coming. We are going to actually announce the winners of the giveaway very soon. Don't worry about it. But thank you everyone for coming. It's a pleasure to have you all here in the podcast.
Yes, sir.
Sib, you saying something, Sibor?
um, no, just no. That's as far as I'll take that.
Okay.
Because you know where the other nukes are? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, 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 no. I don't know where more than 2 of them are at the moment. So of the lost ones.
Sure.
Hmm.
All right, so I'm kind of ready to announce the winners of the giveaway. So, if you don't know, just to catch up, everyone, so we had a giveaway on this channel for a bit more than a month, I believe, which was organized by Talsorian Games and Monster Fight Club. They are giving away a lot of stuff, including a Cyberpunk Red sourcebook, which has been signed by Mike Pondsmith, obviously. From Monster Fight Club, you get a 3x3 metropolis, like a city that you can role play in. You can put that in front of you, like the buildings are fully uh, modulated, so you can modular, so you can kind of put them apart and create like optimize the city for your tabletop role playing experience. Now, everyone had a different task, and you basically had a chance to win on each of our channels. So. Do we go like anyone like everyone announces their winner? Should we go
Yeah, we
like
can do
that?
that because
Yeah.
we all had different rules, right?
Hmm.
Yes. So maybe we can start from Union. Tell us about your rules and who won.
So yeah, mine was naming Mike Pondsmith's cyberpunk mastiff dog that he has in one of his miniatures. And so the winner was I had a lot of good ones actually. I had like I can't remember them right now, but anyways, Potion Seller was my winner, and he said he had a whole comment here. He said, "Guys, this dog is a mastiff waste of time. At least call him something good, but don't work your tails off if you're going through a rough pooch in life. Uh, I'm sure you'll get back pup and running in no time. Neon, what's up, dog? I'd call him Johnny Silverhound. So simple but elegant.
Nice.
So congratulations, Potion Seller.
Congratulations. So this is our first winner, Subsidian.
So we had it was really close. So basically, we set the premise of like, give us a poem, a song, a piece of artwork, a picture, whatever you happen to be good at. Send it in. What you think Cyberpunk means to you, essentially. And we had a ton of people put in suggestions, and so our council more or less picked out between me, Ash, and Moon. We picked out our favorites and the ones that had clearly had a lot of effort put into them, and we put them up for the community to vote on. So then everybody showed up and they voted for their favorite, and by a sliver, and I do mean by a sliver, it was the difference of basically 1 point. We had he's in the chat. Game Notes won it.
Hey.
Nice. Congratulations.
And he did have a handicap because he's been kind of in our community for so long, and he's been we didn't want to show necessarily any favoritism. So yeah, he won it mostly due to the fact that he had so many people vote for that were not longtime members of the community too. So that really helped him win that out. So it wasn't a favoritism thing. It was just a lot of work, hard work on his part. You can catch the video. He's actually done a song and he's actually uploaded it. You can catch the song Game Notes if you can post that in the chat there. I encourage everybody to check it out. He did a fantastic job. The runner-up also did a fantastic job, and we're looking at getting the runner-up, who he nearly tied with. We're looking at getting them something special too. So if you are listening, hit us up in the comment. Oh wait, they don't know who it is.
Yeah, how would they know who they are?
We will contact you. We will contact you, and we're gonna be getting you something.
You're gonna get like 50 messages.
Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, no, and it was really fun. Our community had an enormous amount of fun listening and going through the various things and checking out the content and checking out the ideas and everything behind it. So yeah, it was a really fun experience.
Well, congratulations, Game Notes. I think he's also in the chat. Yes. Basically, on my side, I had a role-playing experience. So I told you half of the story, and then you had to participate in. You had to finish the story, and I would choose the best one. And there was a lot of entries which were amazing. I honestly had a really tough time to decide who's going to be the winner because people role-played like crazy. There's been so many amazing entries, but my winner is definitely Kostas Tsafi. I don't know if I pronounced this right. I do apologize for that. He had an amazing story going through it, like the amount of Cyberpunk references he mentions and how he paced the story was amazing. I'm going to post an image of his story on my Twitter after the podcast and on Discord, but congratulations, Kostas Tsafi. I don't know if he is actually here, but yeah. And we do have the Mad Queen's entry. Now, what was her? Does anyone know what was her?
Hers was what would be a line that you'd use on Mike Pondsmith to start a fight with him, right?
Yes, and the winner of her competition is Kaem, Kaeam, Kaem. I believe that's the. And he said, "Hey Chumba, did you get lost on your way to the Bozos meeting?" And that was the overall competition. Thank you everyone who participated. Of course, we are doing our best to try and get as many giveaways as possible. There will be more in the future. I will organize some, at least what I can tell you for my channel. So definitely keep a lookout for that. We always try to find a way to give back to the community as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's
My God,
yeah.
everyone who's won is in the chat except mine.
Really?
We have Kame and Costas in here too.
Nice. Well, congratulations, everyone. That was amazing. Like I was surprised at how many entries there were, honestly. And
Mm-hmm.
damn, you guys are real cyberpunks. Congratulations.
Yeah, you guys killed it.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing we actually backed the Kickstarter as well, because we wouldn't ask you guys to back a Kickstarter that we wouldn't. So between us here at the Triple S League and Neon, we split a sizable one, and we're going to be doing an opening on that when that comes out. So we're going to have some more content showing you exactly what was in there, and I suspect that some of our entries might actually do the same thing. So that'll be really cool, kind of showing that off.
Yeah, regarding the rewards, we'll get in touch with our Talsorian games, and we'll get back to every single one of you who actually won, so you don't have to worry about a thing. The giveaway itself was international, so it didn't matter where participants are from. Which is great. Like sometimes I do understand when giveaways are limited to one country, but same time, I don't
It
know.
sucks.
Yeah. Because I don't know, you get like I don't know. I think that was a case recently with like some GPU, and it's like you enter, and it's like it's NA, or it's I don't know
I
somewhere.
wonder. I wonder.
Hmm?
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. I'm done. I'm done.
I was just gonna say, I wonder how big the box is for all this stuff, because this is a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty big, I think.
Might need a crowbar to open this. Yeah, it was amazing what they actually prepared for the giveaway. It's amazing. Truly, it did.
Yeah, $500 worth of stuff. It's a
Yeah.
shitload of stuff. Jeez.
Totally 2000. My God. But yeah. Okay, so we covered the giveaway. We covered the world of Cyberpunk. Now I think the chat was asking a lot about the second Night City Wire. Obviously, we don't know that. But what is everyone's opinion when that might happen? Because of course they said a couple of weeks, but I said no way. It's gonna be
Yeah.
delayed.
I think they said a few weeks, and then people are like
Mm.
jumping to conclusions on what the definition of a few is, and like reading a little bit too much into it. But
Mm.
I think they'll announce it in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, a week before when Gamescom was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think last year it was from the 20th to the 24th, right? Something like that.
Think so.
So maybe, yeah, a week before then they'll announce it, and then hopefully during the Gamescom chunk we'll see Night City Wire episode 2. That's my thought.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Probably, yeah. I think we're probably, because it's been quite heavy with the game news, right?
Mm.
So many people, like, we just had Microsoft One, and I think they're trying to like fit this stuff in combination with trying to arrange all of the stuff that they've been doing at a distance, right? So we've had, people get access to, kind of the early game and whatnot. And that stuff is hard because in some cases they have to send, hardware to them. In other cases, they have to spend the time hooking up a direct connection. So it's been very interesting to
Yeah.
see everything going on. And it's not something that you can move quickly in this quote unquote environment with everything that's been, everything that's been going on in the last like few years here. So, or a few months, sorry, not years.
Mm.
So yeah, it's like people obviously need to be aware that they can't just, because of the whole cough thing. We will see a slower response to this than they would definitely like, and please don't blame them for that because that's out of their control, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's been changed a lot because physical events are not possible to do anymore, so they had to adjust kind of quickly because all of this, obviously there were some signs, but when it happened really fast, and a lot of businesses just got shut down immediately. So of course, it can translate to the change of plans. Sometimes it can be a problem. In the case of CDPR, it wasn't a big of an issue. Obviously, there are issues. It's every time you're organizing remote work and sane. So I'm glad that they kind of did it well. But yeah, I think that date could be good because it would kind of be that time when we get Gamescom. So it kind of fit right in.
Because there's supposed to be 3 episodes, right? Do all 3 of them have to fit within the Summer Games Fest window? Because it's part of Summer Games Fest, right?
I don't think so. I think they.
So? Because that ends in August, technically, right?
Yeah, I suspect that we'll get one here probably in the next week or two, and then we'll probably get another one in between September and October.
Yeah, possible, but they have to. Yeah, if it's gonna happen, then the announcement should come soon. Chat Klutz, can we drive an ACPA? No, you cannot.
They are referenced in the book, though, the World of Cyberpunk book.
Yeah,
It's the first time I've heard of them, yeah. Well, maybe not drive them, but they're talked about a little bit.
yeah. Maybe. We should be live, ladies and gentlemen. I am not sure if this thing works. I don't know if anything works on YouTube anymore, but yeah. It happened again. And again. We are having issues with YouTube. So, the trigger...
Looks like we're... Yeah, it's working. We're live. We're back. We're alive. Oh my god.
The trigger for the copyright strike, which isn't even a copyright strike, guys, you don't have to worry, I didn't receive one, was the male butt. Meanwhile, breasts, OnlyFans account, and everything else on YouTube, no problem. No problem at all. But
a male side butt. Oh,
animated side butt. And
it wasn't even both butt cheeks. It was like 1.5.
And it's been happening. And when you we don't have if you think you want to do YouTube, guys, if you honestly want to do YouTube, get ready for this, because this is what YouTube gives you. It doesn't give you anything good. It won't help you in any way. It won't do anything. But no, it's just to clarify everything. It wasn't a mass report or anything. We just saw it. The butt happened, and all of a sudden, bam, you're done. So, this brings me to a question. How are we going to play this game on YouTube?
We're going to need a filter. We're going to need
lots and lots of editing. This is where modders might come in handy. They'll create an invisible black box around, or not invisible, but a visible black box around all junk and stuff, and anything that's even remotely considered, oh hey look, it might be a sideways, a side boob or an under boob or something like that, and it's like thanks guys, because they can't be bothered to implement these rules fairly and evenly across everything.
Yeah. So basically, you can have late night shows do everything they want on this space. Meanwhile, the YouTubers who basically built this platform and gave them the money they need to actually have the late nights are now being put on the side. And the worst thing is, guys, it's not even the small YouTubers anymore, it's the big ones. They're coming for basically just people who are not corporations or huge media houses. Because I can guarantee this wouldn't happen if Jimmy Fallon was on. Never.
No.
He could have shown anything he wants on YouTube and nothing would happen. But
well, it's like we can talk about news and stuff, right? We can say, oh hey, there's a news thingy going on here, and everybody can post it, watch it, but if it's on anything other than the official news sites, then you're taken down. It's like we can go out to get some footage of some people angrily disagreeing in public, and if we put that up, boom, we're down. If CNN puts it up, it's fine, it's totally fine.
yeah.
What are you talking about? Why is this a problem? It's like Don't you know? Don't you know that this is totally okay? It's like, it's really frustrating.
And the worst thing is, they just give you back the stream. Like, I filed an appeal right now and gave me back the VOD. So then the VOD is okay for everyone, I guess. So the VOD can be, even the Mad Queen's VOD is still on, right?
Yeah,
And it has the male butt.
I think it's just the overly sensitive triggers, and then you're guilty before, they can prove that you're innocent, and they just take it down as a safety measure, which is, I mean,
It's stupid.
It's stupid, yeah.
On the positive side note, both Mad Queen and I didn't receive any strikes or anything which can jeopardize the channel, because one mistake, you say COVID one more time. Oh, finally I said it on my video. Yeah. And like it basically, they block you which words you can actually say, and then the algorithm is just gonna fall down. So yeah, guys, from now on we say COVID on this channel, because I don't care. Because one male butt is a problem. Then come on, who are we kidding over here?
OKM's in full YOLO mode. He doesn't give any more.
Yeah, because I can see everyone else, all of the big channels here on YouTube say it. Fuck, screw it, I'll say it.
Well, I mean, they change their rules every week. Like you can apparently say it now, as long as you're not saying it in like a medical capacity. And things change so often. Yeah, that happened like a couple weeks ago. You were allowed to say it.
Yeah,
but you just can't
That's
have
the thing.
any.
The most confusing is that there's like multiple different takes on stuff from multiple different countries. Some countries are like, oh yeah, no, what you're saying and how you're treating it is totally okay, but other countries, no, you can't. Sorry, that's bannable offense. It's like doctors can't even like agree now, and it's like whoever happens to be sitting on King of the Hill at the moment sets all the rules for everything.
Yeah,
it's like brilliant.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you for coming back to the stream. So no, there weren't any issues. They just removed the stream. The VOD should be up. So what I will do, I think I will just connect the two things, this VOD and the other one, and kind of upload that, because
you might as well upload it as a video and get more views from it, since they cut the first one anyways.
Yeah, I mean, and Jesus, and we were just going like, it was a nice conversation, and it was like, what? And now it's like you have to choose your words carefully. If this is not corporate control, I don't know what else is.
Yeah,
it's either...
I was honestly doubting it. I was honestly super doubting that it was the male ass that took us down last time. I was pretty convinced that it was some random flagger that kept flagging it.
Yeah,
but apparently it's a side butt with 1.5 butt cheeks that take your...
True. And also, the person who dislikes is back. Welcome back, my friend. We missed you on the previous stream. Oh my god. Well, that was kind of abruptly. So what were we talking before this?
Yeah, that's the other thing. You'd think that somebody who follows every single one of our videos and dislikes it without viewing it, you'd think that would be like a violation of rules. It's like you're clearly a troll. Move along, right? But no, that's totally legitimate. It's totally fine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thank all the haters for having me in their head 24/7.
Well, it does count for interaction, which is actually a positive. There's a lot of very very disliked videos out there that are actually like they get it because they get it. So
it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. So we were talking about Night City Wire episode 2 before Arasaka decided to. You're not gonna say it.
Oh, you cut again.
We were cut, yeah.
Oh, hey, welcome.
Hello.
We're live again.
It's the male butt. It's the issue.
Well, not really, because in my video, I completed one loop before this happened, which means that the male butt was already shown.
Wait, what? Really?
Really?
Yeah, because the loop is less than an hour, and we went in mine for an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a strike, a warning? Did you have a warning?
Yeah, it had the same thing that was on screen.
But once it's up again, did you have a warning staying in your channel?
No,
Yeah,
no.
then it's not the mail bot.
What?
Is this someone again reporting mass reporting?
Maybe could be.
I
If
mean,
if you really did well first, all of us used this footage zillions of times.
Yeah,
yeah, true.
Nothing happened.
but not in a live stream capacity. It's always been in the back and like blurred.
Yeah, but which lowlife would go and mass flag videos? If you are if you're watching this stream, like I swear to God, like can you be less than that lowlife? Like can you go lesser than lowlife? I think you can, and we just found a person, and that's the person who mass flags the videos. They are worse than lowlife.
Well, I mean, this
If
would
it
help
really
out a
if it
lot
really was a breach, if it really was a breach, you would have a
I think it
warning.
was a mail bot. I honestly think it was a mail bot.
I used this footage zillions of
With a
times.
bot?
Yeah,
My
I
God.
did a reaction. I did a live reaction when it went out.
Yeah.
It was on stream. I used this footage plenty of times on videos, including the male bot part.
Yeah.
And I remember Neon did a video about sexuality where this part was also shown. I don't think your video was flagged or anything. In fact, it was
No.
called sexuality.
Mm.
It couldn't be more explicit.
No, but I mean, live streaming is under more scrutiny, right? Because it's live. Is that
But
the
I did live stream this in the past
Oh,
without any kind of problem. For instance, the live reaction when they showed this footage for the first time.
yeah, but was that before the global events that are happening right now, or after? Because
Well,
they're automating a lot more of this now, right?
no, this has always been automated.
Mm.
What they are automating more is the answers on YouTube creators' help. But
Yeah.
this process of finding out if something breaches the terms of service has always been automatic, and only a person gets in if you ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It was never supervised by a person.
yeah.
Well, then what's the solution to this? I mean, they're not going to give us an answer. They're going to be very vague. Like,
Yeah,
we
well,
need to know why this is getting taken down.
But
I'm trying to get an answer, but now was LastKnownMeal's stream?
Yeah. I'll send them an email tonight too.
yeah. So we're live right now, but what I wanted to say is that okay, so if I doubt that someone can mass report, because that would be a problem for other YouTubers, the bigger ones, because if one person can do it on the smaller, let's say, live stream, than doing it on a big live stream in that capacity, I don't know. It was
I
the same
thought
footage.
about it.
It was the same footage.
I thought, yeah, but in my case, it went twice. It went on twice because we completed the whole loop. We were there for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out for sure if next week when, because I'm going to use this old footage again, and then if that gets flagged, then we know it's a troll.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, if that's the case, I will change the footage. But yeah, but again, I removed the part of Sandra Dorset's boobs because this part I had issues, but demonetized, not taken down.
Yeah. Well, sorry about the sidetrack, folks, but I just got an email from YouTube saying, well, we reinstated your video. Well, thank you. Now it's too late for you to reinstate my video, and now it's not a problem. So that was it, I guess. That was on that side. Mad Queen, I don't know if you were following the stream. We announced the winners. We talked about the Night City Wire, the World of Cyberpunk book. Maybe you have some inputs on the book, because we didn't get your opinion on it.
Well, I think I will do a video. I'm really sick today. I just came in to see what was going on, but I'm really sick today.
No worries.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. Rest up.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm gonna go through the through the chat a bit. Yeah, thank you everyone for the support. So yeah, we'll find out what it is. We'll try to get a response from YouTube regarding this, because this is not gonna be a problem just for the podcast. It's gonna be a serious problem once the game comes out.
Yeah.
Because if this is the case, then doing live streams on YouTube would be impossible for everyone who's basically going to play the game, because you never know in this game. Like, you turn around the corner, there could be a male butt just waiting there. And like, god damn it, now I'm banned.
There's
So-
a male butt gang just to troll you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's 2020 for you guys. So yeah, do we have anything else besides? Also, everyone in the chat, if you got some questions regarding the game or the lore, just drop them. We're gonna be going through that a bit, because like this week was kind of slow. We'll see what the next week brings, but this week was a little bit slow. Yeah.
Yes. Apologies to the people who are heavily annoyed at us because we tend to get off track. We get off track because there's not enough to talk about. And I'm sure you wouldn't like a 15-minute podcast where we're just like, hey, here's the news and we're done.
Yeah.
You know, on some weeks that would literally be, hey guys, welcome to the stream, and there was 0 news drop today, unless we're gonna rehash everything that we rehash every week. So see you next week. There are some people who really want that, and I'm a little confused.
But
I'm a little confused.
This is the podcast. We talk about cyberpunk stuff and also other general stuff connected to cyberpunk. Because let's face it, this is serious topics we have to talk about, that we talked about regarding this copyright strike, or the TOS strike. Because yeah, that this is gonna benefit the future of the game. I still don't know why YouTube doesn't like. What's the big deal? Like, what is the big deal with this? Isn't the entire point of podcast to ramble? Yeah, you ramble about the world of the game, you ramble about the lore, about what was going on. We kind of stick, like, we're not strict news podcasts, so we like do and we're done. We also like to interact with the community, you know. That's the whole point of this podcast. Yeah, that's why this was made in the first place. Maybe talk about this question is interesting. What type of multiplayer would you like to see?
My favorite would be one that focuses heavily on the overall aesthetic for multiplayer groups, for like content that you would normally find a group of people playing when they're playing Cyberpunk tabletop.
Yeah.
Which would mean a dungeon that is you know, a little bit more complex than the normal dungeons, and you basically have set pieces that you set up, and then you allow the community to really like make their own stuff and really push their own content up. So that way you could end up getting I have wonderful fever dreams of playing a game where it's like you show up and there's no fighting to be done, just a lot of talking and arguing, some arm wrestles, some drinking competitions, paying attention to like, you know, the thing because it's a heist, you know, it's a heist thing. And then maybe there's a you know, on the way out you can do a really, really difficult fight.
Yeah.
You know, with somebody who comes after you or something like that. Or you can, you know, try and do the getaway or a chase or a race or something like that. Like having this out there, having this like really well crafted, having a wide variety of them that can interchange quite a bit, so that they're not just repetitive. It's like, oh yeah, go for option 1 4 3 1 2 2 4 3 4 1 1. It's like, I don't want that. I want it to change and morph just enough, right?
Yeah.
So that's my thought, at least.
Yeah. Because I think the main thing I want to see in the Cyberpunk multiplayer is definitely that co-op element, that element of what people experienced while playing tabletop role-playing games, that fun of working together. Obviously, now it's gonna be interesting how they handle that if they would go in that direction because of the lores, the roles, and the meta and the builds that people will be able to. Because the tabletop, you had a much more divisive, more classes you can choose from, and not all of those classes were combat types in a sense. They were just different roles, like the medias in the tabletop. But here it's obviously much more turned to action in a sense. But so it will be interesting, but that's kind of my thing, what I would do, because obviously they said it's not gonna be Royale or anything like that bullshit. They're gonna be going in a different direction, which so far we don't know what it is, but hopefully it's fun. Because honestly, someone needs to bring back the good old multiplayer without, because just multiplayer was destroyed by some certain gaming companies, like completely destroyed, and that's what people have this resentment towards multiplayer. You can see it, like everyone's single player, of course, yeah, I love single player games. I play mostly single player games, but multiplayer was a huge thing back in the day, and then you have these companies who strolled in, put in a easy formula for multiplayer, and now it's a very hated thing. I think everyone can agree with that.
It made multiplayer games so easy to play, so that's like so accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
There's no like skill differential between players these days, or it's very small. You get an elimination for tickling somebody with a weapon. That's like the new trend, right? So
yeah,
it's gonna. I can't see it being any different. And when it comes to like more deathmatchy kind of multiplayer games, so I hope they do something that's radically different that we haven't seen.
Yeah, true. So that's kind of what I want to see there. So we'll see. So far, it's still far away, and we don't know. Yeah.
That's like 2 years away at this point, right?
Yeah, even more in my opinion, because of course they will probably depends on the launch of Cyberpunk. I think a lot of plans for future will be determined after the game comes out. We'll have to see what was the release and how it is going to be handled in a sense.
I just want to mention another thing. I think a new trend is weaving online elements into the single player. Like, didn't Death Stranding have something like that? Like, you could place things in the open world for other people to find, and like Doom has that as well. You can be a demon in someone else's single player playthrough. So I think if they maybe experiment with that idea, that would be cool. Online functionality with single player games is always cool when you have like things like leaderboards and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Gives you a challenge.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Well, we'll see how if it's now. Obviously, there's two types of multiplayer. There's the that fun multiplayer, and then there is the more casual multiplayer, and then there is the more esport oriented multiplayer, which I doubt they're gonna be taking that route with esports here.
Yeah, they already have Gwent for that, anyways, right?
Yeah. So I really.
I mean, they could always push it new, because part of the problem with Gwent is that it was a formula that had long since like kind of hit its max. Like it's just not a viable thing right now. And again, it's not to say that it's a good mechanic. It's a good system. Like all card games are, they have skill and they have like some retention power to them, and they're still good. It's just they tend to suffer from that whole that whole like flavor of the month thing, right? And this is what we see with this one, and there's not much that can really be done about that. But if they were to push a new genre out, that had some sticking power, that would just be super amazing. That would just be very, 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 very amazing, and I would be so happy to see that. Because them taking a chance on a new concept. And we keep hearing rumors. We keep hearing so many rumors about what they're doing with this with some of the companies that they've bought out recently, and I swear there's a somebody's got something going on there. There is something going on there, and I'm really, really excited to see where this will ultimately end up at. So
Yep, yep. And the reason, honestly, why Gwent is popular even today, well, it is popular even to this day, is because of the insane support from the devs. And if that didn't happen, it's really hard to now have a card game and at the same time make money from that. So it takes extra effort, and what I've been seeing, because I'm not a regular Gwent player, but I like to come in from time to time and always see something new, and that's definitely necessary for the online aspect to be interesting, to have changes, to add new stuff, so that the community sees you're actually moving forward into it, which is cool. We'll see. All right. There was also one question about another about car customization. Obviously, we discussed that. I don't mind it because of the alternative we got, which is to actually have vehicles which are essentially different in a sense, and which are made by people to be different. And yeah, that's when it comes to that.
Yeah, variants of cars are fill that role for me. I'm not too bothered about. I was never really too bothered about that, just personally. But I can understand people not liking that. But I mean,
Yeah.
go play Need for Speed or something. I don't know. Or like
Yeah.
GTA has it, right? To some degree, so go play
Yeah,
that.
to some degree, but one thing which is good here is that they're really taking their time. They have a team which is only in charge of designing vehicles, both exterior and interior. So yeah, but it could always come in a DLC in the future or as a mod, because
True.
a lot of stuff that devs don't really put in and that people like, they just mod into the game. That was the case with Skyrim.
Yeah. And have you guys seen the interiors of the vehicles? Or like, they're insane.
Yeah,
They're
true.
so detailed.
True.
So I mean,
which is why we can't customize them, because you
Yeah.
can't have that level of like interior design and functionality in a broad large game like this. You can have it in games that don't have nearly this much like secondary combat, all of the other things that happen. You could definitely have that there, but you can't have it everywhere. You can't have it in Night City, because you can also shoot and hack and do brain dance and have character customization and all that kind of stuff. If you were sacrificing the bulk of that stuff for this, then sure, maybe it might work.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, during development, some things will get cut, because one thing you definitely don't want into your game. So you decide to go on and implement a feature. You thought in your head, okay, this is gonna work, this is gonna be great. Let's try and implement this feature, and the feature doesn't work. And then they calculate, okay, is it gonna take a lot of time for us to fix this? Is it possible? Does it actually create problems for other assets of the game, etc., etc.? And then sometimes devs have to make that decision not to release something which is not up to standard and doesn't benefit the game in a sense all that much. So in the end, they decide to remove it so they can focus their time on something else. It's a very, very normal thing which is done. It's not new. Very normal. But yeah, we're not sure. Are we sure about the color of the vehicles, by the way? Is that customizable? Like the colors
I
themselves?
don't believe so. I think it's just
Yeah.
the variants, right? So we saw an example of the Quadra car there.
Yeah.
The Type 66, they have the yellow one, and then they have the rates gang one that has their custom design on there. So that's my impression, that we just get the different variants. I don't think there's any customization, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, but again, I would say more of a no than yes, in a sense, because it depends. I don't know.
And
Because
like you said,
yeah.
there's so much potential for like DLC stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're not gonna add everything and the kitchen sink into the base game. They have to leave some stuff to the imagination and think about where they want to take DLC, and so that's important too.
Yeah. John, I feel like this game is getting so much hype that it'll end up as garbage when everyone plays it. Now, of course, you can always assume two things, and always two things can happen. Either the game works or it doesn't. But I always say to people, don't get too hyped up because you don't want to be disappointed. Like, of course, have a healthy hype towards the game. It's not going to do everything. It's not going to be a life simulator. It's an RPG, after all. And in the end of the day, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We'll see. But everything so far we've seen gives me those high hopes that the game is gonna be good when it comes out. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Now, of course,
And of course, we've been disappointed before. I mean, everybody's been disappointed
Yeah.
before.
of course,
It's also the question of like, how have we been disappointed, and is this something that we could be disappointed with? We take a couple of disappointments, right? So we can look at people. I think it's fair to say that these games were slightly disappointing to at least somebody. So we'll look at No Man's Sky. They
Yeah.
lied right from the get-go. They knew that they lied, and they knew that they weren't doing and making stuff. So that's a matter of like just blatant, outright lies.
yeah,
You have what's it called, the Death Stranding, right? A lot of people were disappointed with that. It wasn't that the game was inherently bad, it was that the game wasn't what a lot of people were thinking and expecting.
Yep.
And that they didn't really, it wasn't the same type of game that people were anticipating. And again, that's not inherently a bad thing in that case, because it was just different,
yeah,
and that difference was enough to make some people really cringe at the game and not have a great time. And yes, and that I understand that. But again, nothing that really could be, nothing that could really be changed in that, other because it was him trying to do a new genre completely, and that new genre was very, very difficult to pull off, and it's still not what some people want it to be. Then you look at, we'll use another one that's pretty new, Last of Us 2, and that's just it didn't have any of those issues. It was just poor writing, as much as some people think or insist that it wasn't. For most people, it was just poor writing. And I mean, we've seen revenge films, movies, stories played out 1,000 times better than this one. And you can dislike what I say, but from a writer's perspective, it was pretty trash. It did not have the weight and the impact that some people wanted, and that some people needed in order to treat it with the respect that they were hoping for. And that falls down to nothing but the director and the writer of the game, and all of the things that have kind of come out about it since then. It's just a bad game. Sorry, it is. We hope that it gets better, but it's the leadership that kind of dropped the ball on that one. So in that case, we can look to this. Well, we may have an issue with one or more of those things. The tech side of things, the outcome kind of, whether or not we're going to get the game that we're looking for because of, and then enter in whatever concern that you have as far as like technical or gameplay wise. Those are legitimate issues. Is it for sure? We don't know, and it would be poor speculation to focus on it. So yeah, that's the general overall, like, general concept, I think, of the game, is like, you take those examples and you can compare them, and I frankly, I don't see any of the warning flags that we had in a lot of these other games. The biggest one, the one that we could compare the most is probably No Man's Sky. It's like all these features that they promised, and are they actually going to be able to pull it off? Well, that's a legitimately good question that everybody will ultimately have to, like, figure out on their own one way or another.
But
So,
they did save themselves in the end. Like, they did update the game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like after all this time, like I've been reading through some reviews because I was someone who actually bought that game, who pre-ordered that game, and let's say on pre-ordered games.
They were like, "No, you played for 4 hours." Like, yeah, I want those 4 hours of my life back.
Yeah, but props, like after that they really updated the game like a lot, and they added a lot of features which were community driven.
Yeah,
Now,
how many developers really truly bring their games back from the dead? It's like very rare, right?
yeah,
Right. And I mean, I got to give Sean credit for that because at least he managed to do that,
Yeah.
which is something that, you know, again, most people don't have the ability to.
yeah. And also the difference is, okay, if Cyberpunk comes out and it has, let's say, certain issues with either optimization or whatever, like I don't know, something doesn't work, you click on it, doesn't work. If it's not game breaking, it's not that big of a deal because if they delivered on everything they were talking about in that sense. So things can be fixed, bugs can be polished in later patches. It's not an issue. Like there were, I believe on PlayStation 4 there were some issues with The Witcher 3 when it came out, regarding maintaining stable FPS, which was actually fixed fast after it came out. So yeah, there's different types of just, you know, when the game comes out, like in the case of, let's say, Anthem or something, like it wasn't like what it was advertised to be. And what I saw with Cyberpunk, and what made me happy, is that yes, they are advertising the game as it is, a mature RPG first.
And we've gotten enough people that have had access to it in an early phase or two that is saying yes, no, we're seeing a good product here. So that's something else to kind of remember, is that we are seeing a significant number of people who have had access to it say, yes, this is the real deal. We had those warnings for a lot of those other games where, you know, again, wasn't necessarily super public information, but people on the inside were like, this isn't what people are expecting.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that when it came to Anthem. When it came to Anthem, they kept a lid on that like really, really tight and refused to basically like do much of anything with other people. And so that was a huge warning sign here, and we don't have that same thing here. So from both perspectives, I gotta say that as far as what we could get, the worst thing that we could probably get, in my humble opinion, is probably the writing could be bad. That would be the most. And I don't think, from what we've seen, I don't think the writing is going to be bad.
No,
I think
no.
they just fall into different, you know, people with different tastes will take something out of it. Because again, it's like, unless you're a blind fanboy who doesn't care about quality at all, you can't look at that, you know, Last of Us 2 and say, oh yeah, no, that was well written. I mean, everybody kind of looks at that and goes, that was not great. You know, that's a pretty much a universal thing, unless again you're a fanboy or you're, you know, a big paid shill.
Yeah.
And you don't have that here. Like I really don't think you'll have that here. The game may not be up to your style, it may be a little bit more darker than you want, but that doesn't mean that it's not, you know, well written. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing which I was surprised by before, and whenever I let's say am excited about the game, I take a lot from previous experiences I had with games from that studio. So my expectations for Cyberpunk, which are like this, obviously, because I'm excited, and even all of us here have channels turned to Cyberpunk, was previous games. I take from those examples what I've seen in the Witcher games, in Thronebreaker, in Gwent, in all of that, and I say like, okay, they're capable of telling good stories, they're capable of creating good worlds, so I kind of base my opinion on that. Of course, like I say I have to wait for the game to play it to like fully have my opinion. I can't say yes, oh yes, it's the perfect game ever, because I didn't even play it.
And it's not even really about the main story either, right? The Witcher 3 didn't have a particularly compelling main story, at least in my opinion. I think a lot of people can agree with that. What they really excelled at was those side quests that fleshed out the world in a way that you know, other developers may not have done in the past, and that goes down to writing, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I think the writing in the game has a lot to offer, and I think it's largely fine.
Hmm.
That people shouldn't necessarily worry because of. I
You're a
think they
bit
should.
silent. So
Yeah, sorry, dog barking in the distance.
I
in
think
the
as long as they
cyberspace.
don't have that cheesy dialogue that they had in the beginning, I think that was a main complaint from the first 48-minute demo, which they seem to have taken seriously because they apparently the previewers have said that they toned that down quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be something that could potentially kill it. Not overall, it's not a huge deal, but it kind of just rubs you the wrong way as you're, exploring the world and stuff like that. So,
The only person who likes cheesy comedy, like really, I mean, I
It's kind
love.
of fit for the
well,
universe.
there's a time and a place for cheesy comedy. It just can't be the overarching thing, right?
Mm.
One of my favorite bits in um, America's Got Talent are these two guys who have a karate club, and they didn't improve on it. They didn't improve on the comedy from their first one, which they really, really could have, I think. But their first one, where they came in and they did this bit, was just funny. It's like the guy kept on looking behind them, and they're like, "Why do you keep looking behind you?" And he's like, "You never know when you're gonna get jumped by somebody." And he's like, "You're on a stage." Oh man, it's like stuff like that is like it's really funny, but it's only funny to some people. So
Hmm.
Yeah, it takes. We'll see. We'll see. Right now, this is just us speculating a bit. It's not, but
yeah,
it just tells you like none of us. Okay, all of us here are super fans, but all of us here also understand that there is no perfect game. There is no perfect title. Everything has. But if the good things, if you have more good things than bad things, and if that thing you're playing is fun, then in my eyes, that's a win. That's a plus. You know,
yeah.
Hmm.
if you're
Hmm.
emotionally invested into something, for me that's a
I think
plus.
yeah, I think they're going in the right direction, even with the characters. Like, I wasn't particularly a big fan of Jackie in the first 48-minute demo.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought some of his lines were a little awkward.
Mm-hmm.
But the most recent B-roll and then Night City Wire, I think he fills that comedy niche, but
Mm.
he's also obviously your companion. You know, you get shit done when you need to. So I liked him a lot more. He's a little bit more relatable.
Yeah, and the difference between like when he dies in that trailer and then the latest trailer when it's more cheerful.
Yeah, yeah. I
It
love
sh-
that.
yeah, it showed both sides, which I always like to see in a game. It's not only comedy, it's not only
Hmm.
drama. You know, the best dramas that talk about the crazy stuff, like let's say Breaking Bad in a sense or whatever. It has
Yeah.
comedic moments because those things are necessary for a
Hmm.
script. Just because if you only watch dreadful stuff, you're gonna be depressed at the end.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's like a very
And you
long.
don't want one-dimensional characters either, right? That are just constantly throwing out, funny banter and one-liners. It just gets annoying
Yeah.
and tedious after a while.
Yeah, yeah. But now we kind of identify more with
See,
Jackie. Hmm?
or it's just a giant dad joke, you know. Again, I'm totally okay with. I mean, it's groany, but it's like that's kind of the fun of it. So
Hmm.
But
that
yeah,
might be.
yeah. We'll see once the game is out. So far, we have to wait for that 91 days, I believe. I don't know if you know about that, Sip. So if they go under 90 days, can they delay? Is it a normal thing, or do they go like above 90 days?
Um, no, I really don't think we're gonna get another delay. I
Mm,
really don't think we're gonna get another delay just due to like all of the stuff that would involve.
yeah,
Um, I think at this point, if they release it and it's very buggy, but they can fix those bugs within the first 2-3 months, I think it's fine.
yeah, yeah.
Like again, we, I understand and I completely agree. I understand that some people are just sick and tired of companies releasing buggy crap, but we have to at some point you have to understand that there's no perfect game that can ever come out.
Yeah.
Like every game will have some level of bugs to it. I'm not saying Bethesda level bugs, game break, you can't even finish the dang thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but I am saying it's like sure you might find a way to like hack the system, but I mean like there's a dude who has a YouTube channel where that's all he talks about is like ways to break games, and those games have been out for years. You know, Civ 6 just had just watched one of his ones from Civ 6. It's like that's not a little bug that he did. He found a massively like super broken bug, and that thing has been out for what 4 years now.
Mhm.
It's like on some level we have to say that yes, I want a generic, like generally speaking, I don't want to run into any just huge broken bugs, you know, in general.
Yeah.
But if there are some, then I would like them fixed within a week so that most people don't have it. The numbers that you try and go for is you try and have it so that no more than 10% of your player population experiences heavy bugs.
Yeah.
And in a lot of games, I mean, you can even point to some games that are well known for crazy bugs where you don't necessarily encounter that, but they're known for that. And so that's only that like 10 to like 20% of that. So again, it's like I do understand, I 100% understand, and I know that we really, really get taken advantage of as consumers constantly for this.
Yeah.
But at some point, we also have to give them a little bit of flack for, or not flack, a little bit of leeway, because there's just some things that you just can't plan for, you know. And the bigger, the more complex the game, the harder the harder there is some. Like I can make a bug-free game. It's called a ball bounce game, where you just have a paddle and the ball bounces back and forth on the paddle. It's like, do we want that kind of a game? Because it's not very entertaining. I'm just ahead.
Sounds like Pong to me.
entertaining.
Well, The Witcher 3 had, I mean, their launch wasn't particularly unbuggy, right? They had a day one patch. Well, I didn't play Witcher 3 on day one, so I don't know, but
It had some glitches and bugs.
yeah, and that's like, you know, not as ambitious as this game is with all its verticality and, you know.
Yeah, but
So.
but it was solved quickly, so that tells me okay, there could be
Yeah.
bugs, but they're working on it to actually fix it, and that's always plus for a company, because you cannot know. Like, you release a game to millions of people, and they all move in different ways. And like, if someone touches a fence or something, it's like it can happen. It's impossible to like.
The amount of times where I've gone through a bug report, and it's like, guys, like, okay, so if you stand in this one spot, jumping for 3 hours, you can then do this. It's like, how do you find this? Like, this exact spot, this one spot, you found that if you jump on this one spot for 3 hours, like, I'm curious, what's your life like? Like, what's your daily, like, what's your daily challenge like in life? Is it, do you normally just spend hours and hours and hours jumping on random spots? I'm not joking. That's a legitimate thing that came in.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I had a feeling. It's like, okay, sure.
Well, CDPR has a lot of QA testers too. They've outsourced the whole bloody thing too, right?
Yeah. And then they say they also potentially, now of course this has been said once, that we're actually going to, like, the reviewers are going to get the game 2 weeks, was it something like that they said?
2 weeks, yeah.
So it tells you, like, someone who is not certain in their game is not going to give you 2 weeks.
They'll give it to you a couple hours before the embargo lifts, so you can have your honeymoon phase and go straight into your review with those feelings.
Yeah.
Assuming it's not, riddled with bugs, but
Yeah, and yeah, the Witcher had 3, I think, delays or something like that.
did it have 3?
I think so, and they were huge. They were a lot longer, I believe, delays than with Cyberpunk. So yeah, I mean, it happens, but it's all for the good end result. But yeah, we've been going for quite a bit now. Again, everyone, sorry about that. It happened, but I'm going to actually download, like, the VOD of the previous, before the stream got tossed. I do have the VOD, and I do have the VOD from this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to combine the two and upload it as a video, because the first stream was cut off too early, in my opinion, to just leave it as it is. Again,
Sure, yeah.
huge
Makes
apologies.
sense.
Yeah. about that. It happens. But next time, sadly, no mail, but and no, no nothing. We're not gonna have naked people on YouTube anymore because it's a problem.
No,
Especially
I
if
don't
they're
get to
anime.
use the news lay. I don't get to use the new layout. That sucks. I thought it looked so sick.
Yeah, but yeah, the new layout is gonna be there. Huge thanks to Ani for actually making that layout. It's breathtaking, like
Yep,
truly.
yep, it's sick.
But yeah, we're gonna bring back that look of the podcast. We're just gonna sadly have to remove certain parts of the gameplay. So yeah, any closing thoughts?
Not really. What do you guys got going on for next week? I think for me, I'm just gonna focus on some lore with this lapse in news.
Mm,
So, lore week for me.
cool. Sib?
Probably the same for us. We've got some stuff that's starting to boil up. If you are interested in Shadowlands at all, let me know. There is we are in the beta, as it's
So
called.
lucky.
So we'll be doing some stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not super interested in going at it hardcore. Like I I'm Hand of a Doll and an Immortal, so it's like that's my like those aren't even my top. That's not even my top two titles. I have other ones that are more rare and whatnot, and I'm like, this time probably not gonna go crazy. Yeah, this time definitely not gonna go as crazy as I have in the past. So
Yeah, so for me also, there's gonna be a lot of lore videos. I'm starting with the mocks on Monday, so that's gonna be the first video. We're going through some gangs of Night City. So on Monday it's gonna be the mocks, and you can probably expect a bonus video tomorrow regarding streaming on YouTube from me. That enough.
Yeah, unfiltered raw thoughts. How stupid it is.
Yeah, it's extremely like I don't know, like maybe majority of you who are watching are actually didn't try to stream. Maybe you did, but streaming on YouTube is a giant pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's just to start the stream and to edit the stream. So yeah, we'll see about the future and how is it going to be done. Like so far, YouTube is okay without certain nudity, so we'll just keep doing it here. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming each and every single one of the week. You guys and gals are amazing. So yeah, thank you everyone, and we'll see you next time. Who's next time? Is it you, Neon, or?
I think it is me, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next week, same time on Neon's channel, hopefully without TOS. Bye bye everyone.
See you guys.